Hello friends, you welcome to my complete Java course. This video lecture is the continuation of my previous video lecture. So in this videos we are talking about the inheritance. So let's start today's video lecture. In the previous video lecture we learned what is the inheritance and we create a parent class and the child class, and we saw how the child class is inheriting the parent class properties. So now we go for the further. So let's start today's video. So now we will talk about the types of inheritance in Java. Types of inheritance in Java. Number 1, single inheritance. Number 2, multi-level inheritance. Number 3, hierarchical inheritance. Number 4, multiple inheritance. And number 5, hybrid inheritance. So first we will talk about the single inheritance in Java. In single inheritance, the features and methods of superclass are inherited by a single subclass. Means there is only one parent class and only one subclass. So this is called the single inheritance in Java. Like single inheritance, class fruit and class mango. So class mango is a subclass and class fruit is a parent class. So only one subclass and one parent class, then it is called the single inheritance. So here we take an example. Here we create a fruit class and we give us some method fruit name. Then we create a subclass mango which is extends fruit class, and we define a test method. Now class mango have two methods. First is fruit name method and which is inherited from the fruit class, and second mango class has its own method test. So now the mango class has two methods. Number 1 is fruit name and number 2 is test name. So here we create a single level inheritance class with the public static void main methods, and we create the object for the subclass mango. From the subclass object you can call the fruit name method as well as test method. How is it possible? If you are thinking that we define only the one method test in the mango class, then how is it possible to call the fruit name method by using the object of mango class? The reason is the reusability and because of the features of inheritance. Because we are using the extends fruits class, so the fruits class properties and method comes in the mango class. That is why we are able to call the fruits name method as well as test method by the help of mango class object. So the output is I am fruit, my test is sweet. So let's show you this example on Eclipse IDE. So friends, I just copy the code from these slides. So this code I have explained already. So we create a fruit class with the fruit name method and a mango class which extend the fruit class with the test method, and we create a mango class object in the single level inheritance class which have the main method, and in that class we are calling the fruit name and test method by the help of the mango class objects. So let's run it. Once you will run it, you will get the output. First this method fruit name will be executed and then test method will be executed, and we can call these method by the help of the child class object. If we define only, if we create only the parents class object, so we are able to call only the fruit name method, but here it will show the error because test method is not defined in the fruit class. Okay. Now multi-level inheritance in Java. In multi-level inheritance, the base class means parents class, inherits the features of the superclass. Base class means the subclass. The base class inherits the feature of the superclass and sim simul and simultaneously it acts as a superclass for another base class. Here mango is a base class inheriting the features of superclass fruit and simultaneously it acts as a superclass to apple. Like means there are multiple superclass. Like for the class apple, what is the superclass? Mango is a superclass. And what is the superclass for the mango? Is a fruit class. So whatever the property in the fruit class, it will come in the mango class as well as the apple class. And what is the extra methods or fields available in the mango class that also be inherent in the apple class? So apple class have a fruit class properties, mango class properties, as well as the extra properties which we define in the mango class that also be inherent in the apple class. So this is called the multi-level inheritance. Let's see an example. We create a class animal and we define a method eat. Now we define a class dog which extends animal. So dog class, in the dog class we define one method bark. So dog class has two methods. One is eat and which inherit from the animal class, and second one is bark method which is the dog class method. But if you define another class like baby dog which extends dog, so baby class, the superclass for the baby class is dog class and the superclass for the dog class is the animal class. So the baby dog class will have a three method. One is eat method, second one is bark method, and third one it's define its own method, beep method. Now we create a test class and create a main method. Now if you create a baby dog class object, you can call all the three methods by using the baby dog class object. And if you run this program, you will get the output. So I show you this example on Eclipse IDE. So now you can see here, I have created an animal class with one method eat, create a dog class which extending animal class with have a work method. So in the dog class, eat and work method will be available, and we create one class baby dog which extend the dog class. So the baby dog class have a three method, one method from eat class from animal class, and second method comes from the dog class, and third method beep is its own method. So now if you create a baby dog class, you can call all these three methods with the help of baby dog class object. Now if you run it, you will get the output eating, barking and beeping. Now next one is hierarchical inheritance in Java. In hierarchical inheritance, the features of one superclass are inherited by more than one base class. Okay, so in the hierarchical inheritance, there is one class and there are multiple subclasses. So multiple subclasses inheriting the features of one class. Suppose there are three child of one father, so all the three child inherit the property from the one father. That is called the hierarchical inheritance. If there is only one son and one father, then only one son inheriting the properties from his father. That is called the single inheritance. Now, the grandson inheriting the properties from its father and also inheriting the property from its grandfather. So this kind of hierarchy is the multi-level inheritance. Okay. Now, if we take an example, suppose we create a animal class with the method eat. Okay. Now we create a dog class with the method bark. So dog class have a two method. First is eat and second is bark method. Eat method comes from the animal class and bark method is the dog class own method. Now we create another class cat which also extend the animal class, and we define a method mew. So the cat class also have a two method, one is eat method and second one is mew method. So the two class dog and cat, both classes are extending the animal classes. So this is the example of the hierarchical inheritance. And in the test class, if you create a cat class object, you can call the mew and cat method, but you cannot call the bark method because bark method is the method of the dog class, and cat class is not extending the dog class, it is extending the animal class. So if you run this program, you will get outputs mewing and eating. But if you try to call the bark method, you will throw the compile time error. Let's I show you on the Eclipse IDE. So friends, I just copy the code from the slide for this saving the time. So here we have a animal class with eat method, dog class which is extending the animal class with the bark method, and a class cat which extends animal with the mew method. So here we are creating a cat class object and calling the eat and meow method. So it will execute the cat and meow method and will give the output. Suppose if you try to call the bark method, so it will give the compile time error. Why? Because the bark method is not available in the cat class because we are not extending the dog class, we are extending the animal class. So animal class method will be inherit, not the dog class method. So if you run this code, you will get the compile time error. Compile time error. Okay. So now if you define as a dog, if you create the dog class object, now you can call the eat and bark method, but you cannot call the mew method. If you run it, you will get the output eating and barking. If you try to call the mew method by using the dog class object, you will get the compile time error. Now next one is multiple inheritance in Java. So in multiple inheritance, a class can inherit the behavior from more than one parent class. So this is also called the diamond or hybrid inheritance. So in this class, what happens? A subclass can have a multiple parent class. So class D can have a B and C class is a parent class. And for the B and C, if there is any parent class, so it is called the hybrid. Okay, so basically if we talk about the multiple inheritance, so we say if a subclass have a two parents class, two parents class, then it is called the multiple inheritance. But the thing is that multiple inheritance is not possible by using the class. Why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java? Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. Why? Consider a scenario where A, B, C are three classes. The C class inherits the A and B class. If A and B class have the same method and you call it from the child class object, there will be ambiguity to call the method of A or B class. Means what it want to say, this statement. Suppose you have a class A, okay, with the method message. You also have another class B with the same method message. Now, if you have a class C which extends class A and class B. So class C have two parents A and B. Now if you call the C class object and call the message method. Now it is confused which class message method should be called. Either A class message method or either B class message method. That is why it is through the error. Now which method would be invoked? So output will be compile time error. Let's I show you on the Eclipse IDE. So here I create a class A and class B, and we define a message method, class A method, class B method. Now we are extending A comma B. A comma B, and if you try to create the object of test class, test t equal to new test t dot message. So it is showing the error. Why? So if you try to extends two class simultaneously, it will give error. It is showing error here. If you run it, it will throw the compile time error, unresolved compilation problem, because it is confused which method should be called. If you remove this, it will happily know that it have to call the A class message method. So if you run this, you will get the output. But if you try to extend two class, means if the test class have a two parents class, then or the class A and class B have a same method, then it will throw the error. Suppose if you are thinking that suppose if class B have different method, also then you cannot call the extend the two class. The reason is that the concept is failed. Just because of that, it is possible that the two class can have the same method. Based on this concept, the multiple inheritance is not possible by the concept of extending class. But multiple inheritance can be achieved with the help of interface. How? Let's I show you. So now, not multiple inheritance is achieved by interface. This is called the hybrid inheritance. Now, if we define a two interface, like here we have defined animal eat and define a eat method, and interface animal travel, we define the travel method. So if two interface have two different methods, then we implement both interface animal eat and animal travel, and we can provide the body for the both methods or both method, and you can create the object of the subclass and you can call the both methods because you have provided the body for the both methods. So you will get the output for this Okay, now let's I show you on the Eclipse IDE, and I will elaborate more thing about the multiple inheritance by using the interface. Now suppose I convert this A and B in the interface. Interface A. Okay, in the interface we cannot provide the body for the method. So what I'm going to do, I'm just removing it, and okay, in the same way I am just declaring the method in the interface. Okay, now first we take the example where interface A and interface B have a different method. Suppose interface have a one method M1 and interface have a method M2. Okay, now for the implementing an interface we use the implements keyword. Implements A comma B. Now if you are implementing any interface, you need to provide the body for the interface method. So we give the body for that method, public void M1 interface A method. M2 interface B method. Okay, now create a main method, public static void main string as. Now create the object for the test class, test t equal to new test. You can call the t dot m1 as well as t dot m2. Okay, now if you run it, you will get the output interface A method and interface B method. So here you can have a two parent interface for a class, but you cannot have a two parent class for a subclass. So multiple inheritance can be achieved by the help of the interface. Now if both interfaces have the same method, suppose M1 and M1, so in the test class you need to give the body only for one method. You can remove it. Only one method is enough for providing the body for the both method, and if you call, so any one method can be called because the both method are the same method. So if you define only one method in the interface A and interface B, then you can define only one method and call the one method of the interface. So if you run this, you will get the output interface A method. Okay, so this was all about the inheritance. So I hope you enjoyed this video lecture and you have clear all the concept of the interface, inheritance. Thank you for watching this video lecture, and watch my next video lecture for learning new things in Java.